Alright, hey guys, how's it going? And welcome to another quick take video. Now for today's video, I wanted to do some FNAF movie related talking since I'm doing a FNAF movie rewrite that's going to be coming out in a few days here. So I wanted to do some talking about the FNAF movies. But I thought it would be fun to give my plot synopsis for what I think the FNAF 2 movie is going to be. Obviously, I don't know. And this is all just speculation and theories, if you will. But I just thought it'd be fun to share what I think is going to happen in the FNAF 2 movie in a clean, more concise video, since I've brought it up in previous videos, but those are like 30-minute long trailer reactions where I just blab on about nonsense. So I thought it'd be fun here to kind of shorten it up a little bit, make it more concise, and kind of just talk about some of the major things that I think are going to be happening in the FNAF 2 movie. So story-wise / character-wise, I think Mike was the main character of the first movie, right? And then Abby's kind of there and Vanessa's kind of there, and they're like the supporting characters, but Mike was the main character of the first movie. I think for the second movie, the main characters are going to be more focused on Abby and Vanessa. Obviously, Mike is still going to be the main character, but I think Vanessa and Abby are going to get a lot more time in the spotlight. Like, they're going to get more attention and character development on them, particularly. Especially Vanessa, we see a lot of like the dreams and like the nightmares she had, especially growing up with William Afton as a dad, right? Like, there's some more character growth for her to do. And then Abby obviously is connected to these spirits, so there's going to be a lot more with her dealing with them. And then I feel like Mike's just gonna kind of get tossed around and trying to figure things out there. So character wise, I think they are going to be, Abby and Vanessa are going to be the characters that see the most amount of like development in this movie. So I think they are going to be focused on a lot more. And then animatronic wise, like what we're going to see with the animatronics, obviously we've seen pretty much all of them. I think we have seen every animatronic except for Golden Freddy, which I think is interesting. But as of the new trailer, we have seen all of them. The puppet, we've seen barely, but we did see her like kind of floating around in the background in like the first trailer. But we see the puppet, we've seen all of the toy animatronics, I think, at this point, and we've now seen all of the wizards in at least some capacity. Now, that's not been like a huge amount of screen time, especially for somebody like Withered Freddy, who's like just barely showed up, but we've now seen them all at least in some level of clarity. But the biggest one I'm curious about is Golden Freddy, because we know Golden Freddy shows up in FNAF 2, and his character was a pretty big character in the first movie, right? Like, he's the one that goes to the house and brings Abby back to Freddy Fazbear's, which is actually like super creepy. Like, it's not like, oh, shiver me timbers kind of creepy, but Golden Freddy in the house I thought was one of the creepier parts of the movie, because it's just like he's just standing there and he's just acting so creepy, and I just thought that was super cool. But I'm just curious how they're going to use Golden Freddy in the new movie. And I don't really have this part figured out much. Like, the Golden Freddy question is one that I'm still trying to figure out. I think that the Withers are supposed to be the originals. I think they're going to try to just explain it away like that. But who knows? I have yet to see the movie. So I'm just curious how Golden Freddy is going to play into the story on the whole. I imagine that he's not going to play a very big role here. I think he'll probably play a bigger role in the next movie, and that's going to tie into the novel trilogy more, which I'll talk about a little bit later here. But I think Golden Freddy is going to play a more minor role in this movie, giving the spotlight to the puppet and some of the other animatronics, and then he'll come back in the third movie, which I think is supposed to be the finale of, at least the movie trilogy. So then he'll come back for that one and play a larger role there. So I think we might see Golden Freddy in the movie, but not in a large role. So I think that's going to be kind of the Golden Freddy question. And then moving into, I guess, more major plot point stuff, like what I think are like scenes and stuff like that I think we're going to get. I think the overarching story for the movie is going to be that it takes place, a handful of years after the last one. Mike and Vanessa are catching back up. I don't know what they've been doing. I don't know what Vanessa's been doing. She's probably still a cop. Maybe. I don't know. But they're catching back up, and they all stay in contact. But then you get our group of ghost investigators. They go to the FNAF 2 location, and then they awaken the toy animatronics, and the toy animatronics go out and they start killing people. And that's kind of like the big thing. Like, the toys are out and they're killing people. I think the toys are going to be going out and they just, kill random people, but they're trying to make their way to either Vanessa or Mike or Abby, because we do see that they attack our main characters. Mangle's right on top of the car, right? And then they also attack the house that they're in, I'm pretty sure, unless it's two different scenes, but I'm pretty sure they attack the house that our characters are in. So they are trying to get to our main characters, which makes sense because there are the main characters and it's a movie, so that makes sense. But I think the motive behind it is going to be very similar to the Twisted ones, where we see the Twisted animatronics are trying to hunt down Charlie. And so they're making their way there. They just kill everybody that they can, but they're making their way to Charlie to get to her specifically. I think that's going to be a very similar thing here. I think the toys are going to be sent out to just hunt down our main characters, whether they're trying to get to Abby to bring her back. I'm assuming that's going to be the main focus, is that they're going to be trying to get to Abby. So their task is to get to Abby, but they just kill anybody in their way because they don't really care. They're just robots. I don't think they're going to be possessed. I think they're not going to be possessed in the movie, and if they are, then they're going to be controlled by somebody else. I'm kind of torn on whether or not they're going to be. In the movie, in like the trailer, we hear the ghost people talk about, hey, some little girl was killed here. They don't say a lot of people were killed here. They mention the little girl specifically, which was Charlie. So I think that in the movies, it's going to be very similar to the books, where there's only one missing children's incident. So I don't think the toys are going to be possessed. I don't think so. I have yet to see, but I don't think they're going to be possessed. I think they're just going to be robots. And they're sent out to get to Abby to bring her back somewhere. Now, who are they sent out by? I think the movie is going to initially make us think that the puppet sent out the toys to go find Abby and bring her back to the location. But I think it's going to be revealed near the end of the movie that the toys were not being controlled by the puppet, but were in fact being controlled by Springtrap. That will be straight out of the Twisted ones, for the most part. And I think that he might actually even show up, if they want to take a lot from the ending of the Twisted ones, since there's a lot of parallels here already. If they want to take a lot of those connections, then he'll show up at the end of the movie and reveal himself as Springtrap and being like, I'm Springtrap. I hope he doesn't say it like that, because that's how he says it in the book. But I'm hoping he doesn't say that, but I'm thinking that he's going to show up at the end of the movie in some way, shape, or form and say that I've been controlling the toy animatronics and this is my motive why, or something along those lines. But it's going to be revealed that William Afton is in some way leading the toy animatronics for this specific purpose. Like, they serve him. But it's also going to be revealed that the Wizards, who I think are going to be the original animatronics, just more beat up, since we see some of those kind of things there where there's a message that says, like, I'm off to fix my friends, right? And she goes back and all that kind of stuff. I think we're going to see that the Wizards are supposed to be the originals. How it's explained away, I don't really know, but it's not explained away in the games all that much either, except for like they got refurbished. I think honestly nobody really cares, so I think it's not really going to matter. But I feel like you can't have 3 sets of animatronics running around like, oh, we have the originals from the first movie, but then we have the Withers, but then we have the toys. I just feel like that's a little too many. So I feel like the Withers are supposed to be the originals, in that the Withers are being led by the puppet. The puppet is leading the actual spirits, whereas William Afton is only in charge of the soulless robots. I think that's how it's going to go. And it's going to lead to something that I brought up in these other videos, but I think I have a, strong feeling that we are going to see this. I think that we have these 2 groups of animatronics that oppose each other. The puppet doesn't like William Afton and doesn't like the toys. And then the originals kind of just follow the puppet. And so you have this group of possessed animatronics who are possessed by spirits who don't like William Afton. And then you have William Afton leading this group of soulless robots. And they're going to clash at the end of the movie. And if the Twisted Ones connections are right in my mind, I think we're going to see an animatronic brawl. They're going to get in a big old fist fight, and they're going to fight each other at the end of the movie. Now, why am I thinking this? Because it's straight out of the books. And I know I'm bringing up the books a lot, but I want to bring up why I think this is happening, specifically through evidence from the Twisted Ones. In the Twisted Ones book, there's an underground pizzeria that's underground, like underneath Charlie's house. It's an underground pizzeria, and Charlie's down there, and she has a run-in with a bunch of balloon boys, but they're like, the sound is hallucinations, but she has a run-in with a bunch of balloon boys. And then also down there is an artificial cave with an artificial river that like flows between these two platforms in this cave system. When you watch the FNAF 2 trailers, what do you notice almost immediately that kind of stands out quite a bit? You notice a artificial cave system with a river that flows through the middle of it, with these two separate platforms on either side of the river, and a bunch of balloon boys running around attacking our characters. Whether it's balloon boys swimming through the water with the propeller, or JJ, I think, who actually shows up in the trailer. I'm pretty sure that's actually JJ. So presumably there's going to be multiple balloon boy-esque characters running around attacking our main characters in this location that has an artificial cave with an artificial river flowing through it and two platforms on the other side. That is almost straight out of the Twisted Ones novel book. I think that gives at least some credible evidence to the fact that there is going to be an animatronic brawl at the end of the movie. I also think the fact that there are two sets of animatronics running around is going to lead to that as well. And why I think there's going to be a brawl is because that happens in the book as well at that specific cave location. Near the end of the Twisted Ones book, Willie Mathis shows up with the Twisted Ones. He goes, "Wahahaha, my name is Springtrap, I'm the villain." And then the original animatronics show up and they get in a full-on like fist fight breakdown with these other twisted animatronics. And they're like fighting each other. And this happens in the book. Like, I'm not kidding. There's a big animatronic brawl between all the robots, and they're fighting each other. I think that's going to happen here. I think that since there's so many connections to the specific location and scene, I think we're going to see an end of the movie thing where our main characters find out that the puppet isn't controlling the toys, but is in fact, trying to stop them and is leading the original animatronics. So then the puppet will actually team up with our good guys in some way. Maybe not like a full-on like, hey, I'm a good guy, we're teaming up. But in some way, they'll kind of work with our main characters to fight the toy animatronics at this specific location, and it's going to be a big old brawl between, it's going to be like Bonnie v Bonnie, Chica v Chica. It's going to be like this whole animatronic breakdown in a way to help our characters either escape or get to their target goal, which I think there's going to be something hidden underneath of the pizzeria. I don't know what it is going to be yet, but I think that there's going to be something possibly connected to either Abby or more likely Vanessa, that there's some personal connection. Maybe even Garrett might be there. Maybe that's why Mike's there. Something connected to one of our characters, either a Garrett connection with Mike, something connected to Vanessa, or something connected to Abby, that they need to get to the underground part of the pizzeria. They can't because they're stopped by the toy animatronics and potentially Springtrap. Then there's the big animatronic brawl. They make it down there, and they either confront Springtrap if he's there and say like what's going on, and there's some confrontation, and then some truth is revealed. Or they make it down there, Springtrap isn't there. They make it down underground, they find what they were trying to look for, and then the movie is going to end on a dark note. Because it has to. It's the middle of a trilogy. It has to end on a really dark note. Something bad happens. One of the characters dies or is presumed dead. Something bad is going to happen at the end of the movie. And I don't know what they're looking for yet, or what bad thing would happen. Like, I don't have that planned out yet. But I think that that's what's going to happen. And then as they try to escape the pizzeria, while it might be collapsing or something's happening, then one of the characters is presumed dead, or something really bad happens, is kidnapped, something or other. And then that will lead into the third movie, which will take some elements from the fourth closet, assumedly. I'm thinking probably not much to do with the Funtime animatronics. I'm really hoping that we don't get to see Stinking Human Circus Baby. I don't want to see that. So hopefully that's not there, but there'd probably be some fourth closet connections. Hopefully no Robo people either. I'm crossing my fingers and dotting my I's that we don't get to see that. But I don't know what they're looking for, but I think that's how the movie's going to end, is on a dark note after they figure out some truth that is revealed. So I think that's going to be the whole movie in a kind of plot synopsis. I don't know much else about like what's gonna happen before the ending. Obviously, Mike's gonna talk to Henry and learn more about Charlie. All that kind of stuff's gonna happen, and probably Vanessa's gonna go through some sort of therapy, because we see her having these nightmares of William, and we know that that's affecting her. And then we see her in that one room where she's kind of just sitting, and then like Springtrap's hand comes out of nowhere. So I think that she's going to be going through some like mental therapy, and then is haunted by Springtrap. So I think that's what we're going to be seeing. And obviously there's also going to be some flashbacks and stuff. So I didn't cover everything here, but I kind of wanted to cover most of the main points that I had in a little bit more of a concise video. So that's really going to be about it. That's all I have in mind. If some of this stuff does come true, I'm sorry for spoiling it. I don't know if it's going to be 1-for-1, but I am hard set on seeing an animatronic brawl. I really think that's going to happen. I don't care if anything else I mentioned doesn't happen in the movie. I really just want to see an animatronic brawl at the end. So but that's about it. So I hope you guys enjoyed. We'll just do a quick outro here. We'll just do a shout out to my channel members. So here's the shout out. Thank you guys very much. I really do appreciate it that you guys are my channel members. So again, thanks. And here is your video shout out. And yeah, with that, thanks for watching. I hope that you enjoyed the video. And for your questions of the day, question number 1, do you think my idea for the FNAF 2 movie is going to happen? So like, do you think that's going to happen? And question number 2, are you going opening night to see the FNAF 2 movie? So answer both of those down below if you made it this far in the video. And with that, I will see you around in the next one. Goodbye.